Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something special. 10 absolutely incredible manga that somehow fly under the radar, despite being absolutely phenomenal. Each of these manga offers something unique, whether it's stunning artwork, mind-bending plots, or emotional depth that sticks with you long after you've finished reading. I'll be revealing the titles at the end of each recommendation, so stick around to discover your next favorite manga series. Let's get started with manga number 10. Have you ever seen a manga where drilling a hole in your head gives you strange powers? This psychological series follows a homeless man who was once a successful businessman. After losing everything, he agrees to let a medical student drill a small hole in his skull as part of an experiment based on ancient trepanation practices. After recovering from this bizarre procedure, he discovers he can now see strange distortions around people. One person appears with a face like clay. Another has a body made of puzzle pieces. He gradually realizes these hallucinations reveal people's hidden psychological issues and trauma that they themselves might not recognize. He begins working as an unusual counselor, using his ability to see what truly troubles his clients. But as he helps more people, his own mind begins to unravel, raising questions about what's really happening and whether he's losing his grip on reality. The detailed, realistic art creates a perfect contrast between normal Tokyo life and the increasingly strange vision. The boundary between reality and hallucination blurs as he questions whether the hole in his head truly gave him powers or simply broke something in his mind. The manga's art shifts between hyper-realistic depictions of Tokyo streets and train stations to wildly surreal, sometimes disturbing visualizations, creating a constant sense of unease about what's real. The story explores themes of identity, self-deception, social masks, and whether truly seeing ourselves might be more dangerous than living with illusions. This manga is perfect for readers who appreciate psychological horror that uses surreal imagery to explore the human mind, offering no easy answers and leaving you thinking about it long after the final page. The name of this manga is Homunculus. Ever wondered what would happen if you could go back to your childhood with your adult mind intact? This touching time travel story follows a middle-aged businessman with a failing marriage who stops at his mother's grave while returning from a work trip. After accidentally boarding the wrong train and falling asleep, he wakes up to find himself back in his 14-year-old body in the spring of 1963, still possessing all his adult memories and knowledge. This return to the past happens just months before his mother mysteriously left the family, an abandonment that shaped his entire life and still haunts him decades later. With his adult perspective, he begins to notice things about his family he missed as a child: his father's long work hours and possible affair, his mother's quiet sadness, and clues about what might have driven her to leave. At the same time, he must navigate daily middle school life, taking exams he already knows the answers to, dealing with childhood rivals with the patience of an adult, and experiencing first love again but with a grown-up's understanding. As he investigates his mother's situation and considers whether he can or should change the past, he also reflects on how this childhood trauma affected his own approach to marriage and fatherhood in the future. The beautiful, detailed artwork shifts between realistic portrayals of Japan and more impressionistic scenes that capture emotional states, with skillful aging and de-aging of characters across timeline. The story explores the bittersweet nature of revisiting youth with adult wisdom, the chance to understand parents as real people with their own struggles, while recognizing how past events shape who we become. This manga is perfect for mature readers who appreciate contemplative stories about family dynamics, personal growth, and the complexity of viewing childhood experiences through adult eyes. The name of this manga is A Distant Neighborhood. What if being a teenager becomes literally monstrous? This dark, coming-of-age story is set in a suburban American town where high school students are catching a mysterious disease known simply as the bug. The infection causes unpredictable physical mutations. Some develop a second mouth on their chest, others grow tails, and some shed their skin like snakes. The disease spreads through intimate contact, creating a powerful metaphor for teenage fears about bodies and sexuality. The story follows several students navigating this nightmare. One popular girl tries to hide a strange slit on her throat wearing high-collared shirts to school, while searching for others like her. A boy develops small bumps that gradually become something much worse, leading him to flee into the woods, where infected teens have established a hidden camp away from judgmental eyes. As the community becomes aware of the disease, fear and prejudice grow, making the infected targets of violence. The teens must navigate not only their changing bodies, but also shifting friendships, first love, and the usual coming-of-age struggles, all while facing isolation because of their condition. The woods become both a refuge and a site of freedom, where infected teens can be themselves, though these woods harbor dangers of their own as tensions rise between different groups. The striking black and white artwork uses deep shadows and dreamlike imagery to create an atmosphere of dread and confusion. Detailed cross-hatching techniques bring texture to both normal suburban scenes and the most disturbing body transformations. Throughout the story, symbols and motifs of emptiness, holes, and transformation create a rich visual language for the experience of feeling alien in your own changing body. This manga brilliantly uses body horror as an extended metaphor for the alienation of adolescence, creating a story where teenage emotional turmoil takes literal physical form. This manga is perfect for readers who appreciate psychological horror that explores the universal experience of adolescent alienation through a darker, more visceral lens than typical coming-of-age stories. The name of this manga is Black Hole. Ever read a manga where time feels like a broken mirror? In this mysterious story, elementary school students bully a girl who warns about a monster living in a tunnel behind their school. She claims this monster will emerge and destroy the world someday. After a shocking incident involving this girl, the story fractured, following multiple timelines years apart. In the later timeline, the children are now adults, each carrying psychological wounds from their shared past. Strange events begin occurring throughout the town. Butterflies appear in massive numbers, unexplained violence erupts, and people report seeing impossible things. The narrative constantly shifts between past and present, gradually revealing how actions and decisions connect across time. A boy who watched the bullying silently grows into a troubled man. A teacher who failed to protect his students now searches for redemption. The father of the bullied girl continues a mysterious research project that might connect to the strange events. What initially seems like separate character studies slowly reveals itself as an intricate puzzle where every person plays a crucial role in a larger pattern. Recurring symbols, butterflies, water, tunnels, and wounds appear across timelines, suggesting connections beyond simple cause and effect. The story explores how childhood trauma ripples through time, the cyclical nature of violence, and whether people can ever truly escape their past action. The art uses detailed architectural backgrounds to establish precise locations that help readers track the complex timeline shifts. Characters are drawn with subtle aging differences between timelines, and visual motifs create connections that exist beyond the linear narrative. This manga is perfect for readers who appreciate challenging, non-linear storytelling that demands close attention and rewards multiple readings. Like a puzzle box that reveals new patterns with each examination, this story creates a complete picture only when all fragments across time are understood in relation to each other. The name of this manga is Nijigahara Hologram. Have you ever seen a manga where space garbage collectors are the real heroes? Humanity has expanded into space with lunar bases, space hotels, and regular interplanetary travel, but decades of space development have left Earth's orbit cluttered with dangerous debris, abandoned satellites, spent rocket stages, and even tiny screws that become lethal projectiles at orbital velocities. The story follows the crew of the underfunded debris section of the Technora Corporation, tasked with removing the space junk. The main character is a talented but disillusioned collector who dreams of earning enough to buy his own ship and eventually join the first mission to Jupiter. His life is disrupted when a newcomer joins the team, bringing idealistic views about space development benefiting all humanity. Their supervisor battles corporate higher-ups for resources while trying to quit smoking in an environment where lighting up would cause explosive decompression. The fourth core member searches debris fields for a small pendant that belonged to his wife who died in a space accident. As the series progresses, the main character gets the opportunity to join the Jupiter mission but must confront the physical and psychological challenges of deep space travel, while the debris section faces terrorist groups who protest space development's environmental and social costs. Through their dangerous daily work, personal struggles, and philosophical debates, the manga explores profound questions about humanity's future among the stars. The meticulously researched art creates a lived-in, practical vision of space that feels entirely plausible, where spacecraft require maintenance and space itself is treated as a workplace rather than a fantasy realm. This manga is perfect for readers who appreciate thoughtful sci-fi that balances technical realism with deeply human stories about finding purpose in a rapidly changing future. The name of this manga is Planet. Ever seen a manga that feels like wandering through a beautiful, haunting dream? In a world resembling feudal Japan, there exists a hidden realm of beings called mushishi, primordial life forms more fundamental than plants or animals that exist at the border between the seen and unseen. Most people cannot perceive them, but their effects ripple through human communities in mysterious ways. The story follows a man with white hair and one green eye who serves as a mushishi, someone who studies these entities and helps those affected by them. Unlike typical supernatural stories, mushi aren't portrayed as evil or malevolent. They simply exist according to their own nature, sometimes helping humans and sometimes causing harm unintentionally. Each chapter is a self-contained story as the protagonist travels from village to village, a mountain that erases winter memories, causing residents to be surprised by snow each year, a girl whose drawings come to life, a swamp that preserves the voices of those who've drowned in it, bamboo that grows with human-like joints after absorbing the regrets of a craftsman. In each case, the protagonist doesn't battle these phenomena but rather helps people understand and adapt to them, often with bittersweet resolutions. Through his journeys, we gradually learn fragments of his own past and why he cannot stay in one place too long. Certain mushi are drawn to him, making his presence potentially dangerous to communities. The manga's art uses delicate line work and masterful negative space to create misty mountains, dense forests, and isolated villages that feel both authentic and slightly otherworldly. Each panel captures the beauty of nature while hinting at the mysterious forces flowing beneath ordinary reality. This manga is perfect for readers who appreciate contemplative storytelling inspired by folklore traditions, where the emphasis is on atmosphere, wonder, and the complex relationship between humans and the natural world, rather than conflict or conventional plot development. The name of this manga is Mushishi. What if you found yourself trapped in a world where everything is controlled by a dark fantasy game? This manga tells the story of a high school kid who finds himself drawn into a mysterious tower filled with masked figures playing a deadly game with dice. The rules are simple but brutal. Each player receives a set of dice representing their chips, aka their life. Losing all your chips means instant death. As the protagonist is forced to participate in an increasingly complex and dangerous game, he discovers that each game offers insight into the twisted psychology of the other player. The artwork is intricate and distinctive, with incredible attention to detail in the game sequences, and a unique style that portrays psychological states through visual metaphor. The author creates games that are both easy to understand yet fiendishly complex, making readers feel like they're solving the puzzles alongside the characters. What sets this manga apart is how it uses games as a way to explore human nature, greed, trust, betrayal, and the lengths people will go to when pushed to their limits. Each opponent has their own motivation for being in the tower, from escaping debt to seeking revenge, and their gameplay reflects their inner demons. As the story progresses, larger questions emerge about who created this twisted game world and why certain players have been selected. The line between the game world and reality begins to blur, raising philosophical questions about free will and the nature of reality itself. With its combination of psychological thriller elements, intricate game theory, and supernatural mystery, this manga creates an addictive reading experience that keeps you guessing until the very end. This manga is perfect for readers who enjoy psychological thrillers with complex rules and strategic mind games where the stakes couldn't be higher. The name of this manga is Liar Game. Ever seen a manga where music powers an entire world? On a lush island floating in the sky, humans live in a peaceful society alongside animal-like mechanical creatures. Above them hovers Marie, a giant mechanical goddess resembling a music box, whose melodies maintain harmony throughout their world. The story follows a young engineer with a special talent for understanding machines and their feelings, an ability that makes him both gifted and somewhat isolated. His life changes when he meets a free-spirited girl with a mysterious connection to Marie. Their relationship develops as he begins working at a research facility studying the mechanical creatures and the principles that govern their world. Through his research and their relationship, he gradually uncovers long-forgotten truths about how their world was created, why Marie exists, and what happens when mechanical creatures or humans die. The society faces tensions between traditionalists who worship Marie and progressives who want to develop new technologies potentially threatening the old order. As the young engineer discovers more about Marie's true nature and purpose, he must decide whether revealing these truths would help or harm the world he loves. The story unfolds across years, showing his journey from curious youth to accomplished adult, experiencing love, loss, wonder, and the complex responsibilities that come with knowledge. Throughout the narrative, themes of harmony versus progress, natural balance versus human intervention, and predetermined fate versus free will create a rich philosophical backdrop. The art features intricate mechanical designs alongside flowing natural elements, using visual motifs of music, gears, and flight to build a world that feels both whimsical and grounded. Double-page spreads capture breathtaking landscapes of the floating island and the majestic presence of Marie against the sky. This manga is perfect for readers who appreciate fantasy with depth, where world-building serves philosophical exploration, and where coming-of-age elements ground larger questions about existence, purpose, and whether paradise itself might come with hidden costs. The name of this manga is The Music of Marie. Imagine a world where creating manga is literally a matter of life and death. This intense psychological thriller follows two talented but struggling manga artists who enter into a dangerous rivalry that will push both their artistic abilities and their sanity to the breaking point. The story begins when a disillusioned manga editor discovers two artists with remarkable but wildly different styles. One creates meticulously detailed, technically perfect artwork, while the other produces cruder but emotionally powerful storytelling. When these two artists learn of each other's existence, their professional rivalry quickly becomes an obsession. What makes this manga truly special is how it visualizes the creative process itself. As the artists work, we see their thoughts and emotions manifested on the page. Doubt appears as creeping shadows, inspiration as bursts of light, and creative blocks as physical walls. The artwork shifts between styles, mirroring the mental states of the characters and showing their artistic evolution. As the rivalry intensifies, both artists begin sacrificing everything for their work: sleep, relationships, and eventually their physical and mental health. The manga delves into provocative questions about the nature of art itself. Is technical perfection more important than emotional impact? Is suffering necessary for creating truly great art? And at what point does dedication become self-destruction? The manga's pacing is masterful, with sequences of frantic action during deadline crunches contrasted with quiet moments of reflection. The depictions of the manga industry are unflinchingly realistic, showing both the romance of creation and the brutal commercial realities that can crush artistic dreams. This manga is perfect for readers who appreciate psychological drama with a focus on creative passion, artistic rivalry, and the often painful reality behind the works we admire. It will particularly resonate with anyone who has struggled with creative pursuits of their own. The name of this manga is Bakuman. What if a simple childhood game had the power to devastate entire civilizations? This dark fantasy manga begins in a seemingly normal modern Japan before quickly spiraling into something far more complex and terrifying. The story centers on three childhood friends who, while playing a seemingly innocent paper fortune-telling game, unknowingly create an alternate world. Years later, as teenagers, they discover that their childhood game has literally brought another world into existence, a medieval fantasy realm where their creations have developed into living beings with their own societies, wars, and suffering. Even more disturbing, they learn that every change they made to the game in their childhood has had massive, often catastrophic consequences for this world's inhabitants. Wars they casually designed have led to genocide. Monsters they drew for fun have terrorized innocent people, and characters they created have experienced lifetimes of pain. Now they must enter this world they unintentionally created and face the consequences of their action. Each friend responds differently to this responsibility. One seeks to save the world, another wants to rule it, while the third questions whether they have the right to interfere at all. The artwork is stunning, with intricate fantasy designs contrasted against modern settings. The attention to detail in the alternate world's architecture, costumes, and creatures shows the care that went into creating a fully realized fantasy realm. What makes this manga truly exceptional is how it transforms the innocent creativity of childhood into a meditation on power, responsibility, and the unintended consequences of creation itself. It asks profound questions about godhood. If you created a world without meaning to, what responsibility do you bear for its suffering? This manga is perfect for readers who enjoy dark fantasy with philosophical depth, complex moral questions, and a unique premise that examines the boundary between imagination and reality. The name of this manga is Alice in Borderland. And there you have it, 10 incredible manga that deserve way more attention than they get. If you've read any of these underrated gems, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you have other underrated manga recommendations, please share them. I'm always looking to discover new series to read and possibly possibly feature in future videos. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, subscribe to the channel for more manga content, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on new uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.